If you've been scrolling through endless lists of rack mount UPSs, watching spec sheets and still feel stuck about which one actually makes sense for your gear, this review should clear that up. I've spent a few days looking at how the APC SRT5KRMXLI fits into real server rooms, what the day-to-day experience is like, and where the value really lives. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest question most people have is whether a 5 kVA, 4.5 kilowatts unit is overkill or exactly what they need. The answer depends on how many devices you're protecting and how long you need them to run when the grid goes out. In a small to medium IT closet, you might have a couple of one-use servers, a network switch, maybe a storage array, and a few peripherals. Those combined can easily draw 1,200 to 1,800 watts under load. The SRT5KRMXLI can handle that comfortably and still leave headroom for future expansion or a brief spike during boot-up. That headroom is where the smart part of the UPS shines. It won't trip at the first sign of a power surge, and it can ride through a short outage without forcing you to shut down critical services. What makes the SRT series different from a line interactive unit is the online double conversion architecture. Power from the wall is first turned into DC, then back into clean AC before it reaches your equipment. That means you're insulated from voltage sags, spikes, and even frequency variations, which can be a silent killer for servers and networking gear. In practice, that translates to a consistently smooth power curve, no brownout alarms, and no surprise reboots when the utility flickers. For a business that can't afford even a few minutes of downtime, that reliability is worth the extra investment. Now, who should actually buy this? If you run a server rack that supports a business-critical application, think point-of-sale systems, VoIP servers, or a small virtualization host, the SRT5KRMXLI is a solid match. Its 12 output connectors mean you can plug in most standard C13 devices without needing additional power strips. The rack mount form factor, 3U high, slides into a standard 19-inch rack, keeping your floor space tidy. The USB management port is handy for local monitoring. You can see load, battery health, and runtime on a simple software dashboard without buying a separate network card. And if you have a network management card already, the UPS can talk to your existing monitoring tools, giving you alerts before anything goes wrong. On the flip side, if you're a home office user with a single workstation and maybe a NAS, you're probably paying for more capacity than you'll ever need. A 500-watt desktop UPS would handle that scenario at a fraction of the price and weight. Likewise, startups that are still in the prototype phase and haven't nailed down power requirements might find the SRT a bit heavy on the wallet until they scale up. In those cases, a lower VA line interactive model could be a smarter first step. Practical strengths show up when you test the unit under real conditions. I watched a test where the UPS was fed a simulated utility outage. The moment the input power dropped, the output never missed a beat. The server stayed online, the storage array kept spinning, and the network switch kept forwarding traffic. The runtime displayed on the front panel was about 10 minutes at a 75% load, which is enough to either ride through a brief blackout or safely shut down services in an orderly fashion. The hot-swappable battery design is another quiet win. You can replace a battery module without pulling the unit out of the rack, meaning you don't have to schedule a full shutdown just to keep the UPS healthy. There are trade-offs to keep in mind. The unit weighs close to 150 pounds, so you'll need at least 2 people to get it into a rack safely. It also generates heat, so proper ventilation in the rack is essential. Otherwise, you'll see the internal temperature creep up and the efficiency dip a bit. The price point is certainly higher than a consumer-grade UPS, and APC's batteries, while reliable, are a recurring expense. You'll need to budget for a replacement every 3 to 5 years depending on usage. Finally, the LCD display is functional but not as sleek as some newer models that push detailed analytics to a smartphone app. If you love having every metric,